Yeah.
We're in the most dangerous part of the most dangerous place to get the pandemic right.
Yeah. Welcome to Hollywood, everyone.
Yeah, well, the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, I got a nice little zoom of it, so you'll see it right over here.
For sure.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah, at least he's taking it seriously.
Giving old James Dean a hug.
Anyway, so why are we here?
We're here to prove that, first of all, this so-called lockdown that's going on here in LA, it's supposed to be the most severe lockdown. It's what, purple tier or something?
Yeah.
It's not as bad as people are saying. I mean, there are people out here picnicking and chilling out and having a nice time, talking to celebrity statues.
Yep.
We went down to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. We got to see a lot of interesting things, and it's actually fantastic. It's a really nice day.
Yeah.
Everything's been good.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't want to use the loaded phrase if we're going to prove that.
No.
We actually came here not knowing, to be totally honest with you.
We just wanted to check it out. There's a lot of nonsense going on
in China, specifically.
Yeah, specifically saying that, like, hey, America's under lockdown. Everyone's stuck. It's like, look how great it is here in China. We're outside. We can do what we want. But in America, there's suffering. And,
What really spurred this on was my wife and I, and probably you. We haven't talked about this yet, but getting a lot of messages from friends in China.
Yeah.
Both Western and Chinese people saying like, "Oh, it must suck in California. You're locked in your house. You can't even leave your house."
Sure.
Actually, legitimately believe in that because the news in China is actually portraying that right now.
Yes.
It's chaos outside. There's protests and everyone's burning everything down. And
they're all locked down.
You're all locked down. You have to stay at home.
But here in China, we can just do what we want. It's all back to normal. Wuhan pool parties and stuff.
Sure.
Which is not actually true. People still have to wear masks. There are still outbreaks in China. People are still being locked down in certain areas.
We'll get into it.
Yeah. But we just wanted to give you a little intro to the reason we're here in Hollywood in the first place.
We're at the Griffith Observatory.
Yeah.
On a beautiful day. Whoa, it's got real dizzy there. It's very high up.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway, well, let's hit the road. What do you think?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah? Check this out.
Lockdown is hell, isn't it, Sea Milk?
Jeez, it's just so dang hard. I'll be honest with you, before the facetiousness starts, it has been hard for everybody in some way, shape, or form.
Sure.
I say that because, everything's upended. Like, first world problems.
Yeah.
We miss going to restaurants and stuff.
Hell yeah.
Things like that. We miss being able to walk around with impunity, go to museums, actually hang out at the beach. All that stuff sucks.
You can still do it, though.
Yeah, no, listen.
Yeah.
To do it like you did before.
Sure,
right?
sure.
Facetiousness aside. However, there is a hilarious bit of Chinese propaganda that would make you think, COVID numbers aside, which are horrendous here.
Sure.
Because there's actual testing.
Yes.
COVID numbers aside, and the horrible atrocity that's actually occurred in the U.S. with all the deaths and stuff. Yeah. All that aside, there's some hilarious Chinese propaganda.
Yeah.
Wow, what are we in China?
Zhuangxiu, dude, you can't escape it. It's following us.
All that aside, there's a hilarious bit of propaganda in China that shows America being a place where you can't even leave your house. You can't go anywhere because it's boarded up, everything's closed, and you're not allowed to. They're trying to make it look like a police state. Yeah. Kind of like China was.
Yes, when they were welding people into their houses, and you're not allowed to leave your community without a permission slip, and you're only allowed once a day.
So my wife's friends were calling her, and they were like, "Oh, so we're so lucky to be in China right now because at least we can go to walk down the road.
Yeah.
Or at least we can go to the supermarket. We just have to wear a mask and get our temperatures checked."
Yeah.
And my wife's like, "What are you talking about? I go to the supermarket every week."
Yeah, exactly.
And I wear a mask and and all that kind of stuff. And they're like, "What are you talking about? And America's in full lockdown, especially in California." Mm-hmm. Well, we're currently in the peak of lockdown.
Yeah.
Right now.
We're in like purple level or whatever it is.
We're in purple level lockdown in LA. Where we are in Long Beach, it's not as bad. We came to the epicenter of where it's very bad. Yeah. Which is in Hollywood. Yeah. And in downtown LA. It's very bad right now. There's a new strain from the UK, which has been pinpointed here in LA. Yeah. The hyper contagious one. We are here in the most dangerous.
There are people walking dogs.
Yes, we're in the most dangerous part.
Yeah.
Look at that Arby's sign.
Yeah.
We're in the most dangerous part of the most dangerous place to get the pandemic right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we're in the most, like you're saying, we are in the most dangerous, most locked down part of California.
Actually, of the whole U.S.
And guess what? There are people walking their dogs. There are people out everywhere. You know, it's not as bustling as you would expect Hollywood to be.
Sure.
But people aren't being forced literally at gunpoint by, people in hazmat suits to stay in their house.
No.
Especially the homeless people who don't have a house. So you
Sure.
can't force them to be anywhere, really.
That guy's got a pretty sick cart set up.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. We're in downtown LA in Hollywood in a fairly rough area. And there are people with masks, there's people without masks, right? This is it's not an ideal situation.
No.
Everyone should be wearing a mask, everyone should be taking precautions.
Yeah.
That being said, even in this most ridiculously compact, crowded area, one of the most crowded areas of the entire country, there's still enough room to get around people, right? So when you see all these people here on the side of the road, they're not necessarily jostling for position inside of a supermarket like you would in China.
Yeah.
Or waiting in massive queues to get into the bank.
Yeah.
Or to get COVID testing.
Yeah. What is that art on that food truck?
It's like is that Native American food?
Well, I mean, the fact you've got food trucks operating.
Yeah, there's food trucks operating.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not soft power propaganda to say, look at how open America is. No. What this is that it's funny what the Chinese government does to justify their very draconian measures.
Yes.
They justify because they say, oh, well, we had to do that before, and look at where we are now. We've already defeated the coronavirus pandemic, which I haven't, by the way.
No.
I actually have an inside source from the CDC who leaked some important information to somebody that's very powerful. And they said, be ready. If you're in China for 3 to 5 years to deal with the coronavirus, this virus is way trickier than the government's telling you.
Sure.
Anyway, long story short, the government would like you to believe that America now has to do draconian lockdown methods like they did, but it's too late now because they should have done it earlier. But China's smart, and they ate the bitter. They suffered in the beginning, got it out of the way, and now they don't have to worry about it anymore. Now they can have pool parties and stuff.
Oh, dude, this is what I want to counter. I've been seeing a lot of other YouTubers that are based in China.
Sure.
And not mentioning names or anything, but they're gloating. They're like, look, we made the right choice by sticking it out here, although a lot of them escaped when it first happened. They ran away and then
said, oh
went
my God,
back.
I'm so worried about my family. They ran back
fair weather folk, you know what I mean? So it's like,
they're like, China's screwed, I'm out.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, it's coming to America. I'm going back to China because they've got it under control.
That's how you control a pandemic.
Yeah. Anyway, the whole point is you got a lot of people gloating, saying like, oh, look at how free and awesome it is in China right now. We can walk around without a mask. Everything's taken care of.
Sure.
Whereas you poor fools suffering in the States or everywhere else in the world, I'm thinking, what are these guys on about?
Right.
This is the thing that really annoys me is they're eating up the propaganda.
Either that or they're just signal boosting it.
No, but they're eating it up. They actually, I think they firmly believe that everybody here is in dire straits, that it's all locked up and there's protests going on everywhere and that like life is so terrible. But it's actually the same.
Right.
You know what I mean? Except for the basic things that we've talked about. You can't go out to a restaurant. You can't go to national parks. There's certain things where you just can't do them anymore. But I can still go to the beach with my family.
Sure.
We just observe like the 6 foot thing.
Yeah.
Wear a mask.
Yeah.
I still go for walks with my kid every day through the neighborhoods.
Every day with my family.
Yeah, exactly.
And
go to the parks.
It's actually awesome. It's actually, weirdly enough, forced me to think about different ways of doing things.
Yeah.
So instead of going out to eat or whatever, I'm going out and being more active with my family and exploring and taking my daughter through the forest and things like that.
Oh, dude,
stuff I normally would do, but no, I do it more now because I can't go to commercial endeavors. Right?
Sure.
Which, in a way, sounds like I'm justifying. I'm not justifying. What I'm saying is that the lockdown, it could have been dealt with. The way the political system works here, the town, city system, the jurisdictions, it just doesn't work.
Scientology
Holy
again?
crap.
What is with LA and Scientology?
Man, they love this shit.
There's the Church of Scientology. What's Xenu or something's going to infect us with alien ghosts?
Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's the Church of Scientology. It's got a cross on it.
Yeah, they are an interesting place.
Anyway,
Yeah.
okay. Anyway, we have Scientology here.
Yeah, no, there's another thing though, is that yes, we can't go to restaurants, but we can still order food from any restaurant.
Sure.
It still gets delivered to your door.
Yes.
You can get booze delivered to your
Yes.
door, you know. The limitations aren't as bad as what's being said.
No.
And that's why I wanted to counter this by, I mean, look at the people going across the crosswalk. Look, they're all wearing masks, but they're all out. We got people all over the place.
I just don't want this to come off as like we're justifying, like, oh, look, it's normal. It's not how it.
No,
not the point.
I don't want these. Okay, a lot of people who watch our videos are here in the States too,
Sure.
in different areas, most
Yeah.
of them actually, where, you know, the lockdown laws are a
Yeah.
little different. And you hear a lot about what's going on here in LA with lockdowns and stuff.
Sure.
And people probably think it's a freaking wasteland, like a zombie movie or something,
Right.
right? But it's not. It's normal. Everybody's out. It's not like you hear in the news. It's not like the people in China saying how bad it is here, you know. It's one
Yeah.
of those things when you hear on the ground, which I hate that saying, but when you hear on the ground, you get to see that life's
Well,
actually kind of normal.
I'll be honest with you though, we don't live here, so
Well,
we
not
live-
in Hollywood.
We live in Long Beach. We heard about the horror stories here. That's
Yeah.
why we came here.
Yeah.
My point is, yeah, it's just not the case. It looks like people are just going about their day.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of stuff is closed for sure.
And hey, it's been awesome. The LA traffic is not nearly as
Dude,
bad.
I'll be honest with you, that's been the best thing.
been the best
Because
thing.
when we go out for a drive, we either go east or we go south.
Yeah.
Immediately out of
Yeah.
Long Beach. This is the first thing we do
Yeah.
if we want to enjoy our cars. We do not go into LA.
No.
But
No.
It's literally, there's no traffic.
No, it's great. So it's probably the best
crazy.
time for us to do this, you know?
Yeah, it's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But it's been very interesting to see this
Oh,
because.
Sunset Drive? No, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep going. My bad.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
When you don't have a nanny state government, right?
Yeah.
To tell you can, you're all over the place today.
I
aren't
am.
you? When you don't have a nanny state government, what is up with Scientology?
It's everywhere.
Seriously.
Yeah.
This video is slowly turning into about being about
Scientology
Scientology.
Media Productions.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Anyway, as I was saying.
It's pretty rich. Anyway, yeah.
Who's Kevin Zhang?
I don't know.
He's like make money from home or something. Make money online.
Okay.
KevinZhang.com.
Yeah.
Tamale season is here and I can smell it. It smells really good.
Oh, it smells super good. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Tong's Donuts. Dude, there's a freaking like Chinese donut shop.
It's pretty interesting.
As I was saying, to play devil's advocate, when you don't have a nanny state government, right?
Yeah.
Let's say like China, where it can just throw the book at everyone and be like, no, everything's all over.
Yeah.
You can't go anywhere, you can't leave your house, people are getting welded in, like you said.
Yeah.
It's really bad, right?
Sure.
When you have a situation like this where you can't really enforce it, let's
No.
be totally honest, like they can do lockdown orders here. They can say like you have to wear a mask, you have to do this. Actually, you can't. You can't do that.
No.
There is no real law that says you have to wear a mask, you have to do this. It's pretty much up to businesses whether they want to allow people in or not. When you have a system like the US, the downfall is that you really just have to rely on people to not be dicks. Right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people are dicks. A lot of people are, to be devil's advocate, a lot of people are a-holes about this whole thing.
Yeah.
They either don't believe in it, or they either don't believe in it, or they don't want to. They're selfish. They just don't want to follow the protocols, right?
Yeah.
And that sucks. Ultimately,
Yeah.
it's like a bridge homeless. Ultimately, though, it's a trade-off. Do you want a country that signs into bill and law measures that can completely restrict everything that you do?
Yeah.
Or do you want to live in a country where it's really up to you to make sure that you're safe?
Yeah.
And that you have to rely on the kindness of other people to not be a-holes. Unfortunately, when it gets tested, you see downfalls of both sides.
Absolutely.
You do. There is no real happy medium either.
No.
Either is a slippery slope into authoritarianism,
Yeah.
like China has, or it's complete, I'm not going to say anarchy, but you have to just rely on people to be cool about
Yeah.
it. Now,
Yeah.
the thing is this is where I'm going to flip this on its head.
Okay.
Is that when I've spoken to people, especially my wife's friends and my friends that have been nice enough to actually talk about this openly on WeChat, the coronavirus situation, despite its authoritarian measures in China, right? Despite all this kind of stuff, it hasn't been defeated.
No.
There are areas that continue to go into full, unbelievable lockdown, and we'll get messages and they'll literally say to us, oh great, now I have to get those freaking horrible ration quality meals delivered to my apartment. I can't even leave my gate anymore.
Yeah.
And we're talking about 2021 right now.
Yep.
So the difference is, we're not talking about a country that succeeded in its authoritarianism.
No.
We're talking about a country that is succeeded in covering every single time there's another outbreak, to the point where it's censored and changed people's minds about even where the virus came from.
Yeah.
It's gone from, it started in Wuhan, to now it's like, it came from a billion different places because it can't be China's fault, to now, whenever there's an outbreak, there is no transparency or testing anymore because it's already done. It's already taken care of.
Yeah.
So you have these outbreaks with people dying and people like talking about, especially in some of these not rural, but like outskirt areas of these big cities.
Yeah.
They'll go into full lockdown. Right?
Yeah.
And then they're like, crap, looks like I'm going to have to, suffer inside my apartment again for another 2 months or whatever it's going to be. And
I love that guy's shirt, by the way. See, he's got all the bases covered. He's got the LGBT flag with the Black Lives Matter fist on it.
Yeah.
Now that's
crap.
thinking smart.
You don't have to wear like pants or something.
No, but what I'm saying is like that covers everything.
Yeah, well, not everything.
Pretty much.
You need like feminism or something on there.
I think that's included, perhaps.
Oh, probably. Anyway, look at those people. They're being nice. They're social distancing.
Yeah.
Anyway, my point is, China's successfully gotten to a point now where it doesn't even beat around the bush.
No.
It just says we have no more coronavirus. And we talk to our parents-in-law all the time. We're like, listen, be careful out there. Like, no, they said we don't even have to wear a mask anymore. Meanwhile, there's people still that contact me and say, not foreigners, Chinese people are like, oh no, there's serious cases here.
Well, it's not only that, man. Like, people are still wearing masks in China.
Sure.
Look at the footage that I can show you some footage. We've got friends that send us.
I'm talking about my area. But
we got friends send us like up-to-date footage every
Sure.
week from different parts of China. People have to wear masks when they're in the subways and when they go into establishments.
Sure.
It's still like that, you know?
Right.
And the thing is, every time there is a new outbreak, and it does make the news because you can't always hide it, it's always because some foreigner brought it in, right?
Yeah.
It comes from a foreign country.
Every time it's imported.
But remember, they've blocked all foreigners from coming in still, so where are they getting this from?
Yeah, it's funny because like I have a relative, I won't say who it is.
Yeah.
But he was talking to my wife.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, you guys just be a little more careful, because in their specific area, they're like, no, we don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to wear masks anymore. We don't have to even take precautions anymore.
Sure.
Very cocky about it. And then he thought that she was kind of butthurt because he's buying into the idea that all these Americans or something, like my wife, we can call her American at this point.
Yeah.
She's butthurt that like in China, they can go around and do whatever they want.
Yeah.
They've bought into this narrative. Meanwhile, my wife is actually like so happy to be here, where she can enjoy the outdoors and all this kind of stuff, and is adjusted to life under lockdown very swimmingly, right?
Yeah.
He's convinced that they're so butthurt, so he's kind of like what's it called, amicable with it.
Yeah.
She's like, well, actually, like I understand. I'll take precautions, but the government already told us that whenever a new foreigner comes in here, that we'll, they'll put out where they are, they'll track their motions and make sure that they don't spread it to us Chinese people. That's literally what he said.
Yeah.
And my wife goes, how do foreigners come in there?
Yeah.
Because foreigners aren't allowed to come to China right now. And he's like, oh, well, you never know. There's cases, people coming across the border and stuff. And she's like, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah.
It's on full, you can't get into China if you're a foreigner.
Yeah, exactly.
So she was making sure that she wasn't talking about Chinese people coming from abroad.
Yeah.
He was talking about foreigners.
Yeah, dude.
Bringing coronavirus back into China when they're not allowed to go.
Well, we've got friends who are living there that are constantly having to abide by different rules because they're a foreigner.
Sure.
And every time people see them, they expect that they must have recently come in.
Yeah.
Even though they never left. They've been there for like a year now.
Right.
2 years without leaving once.
Sure.
But because they're a foreigner, they're like, it's just a ridiculous situation. And the whole point of this video, guys, is to show you that, yes, keep our trails open, wear a mask. Look at that. Oh, that was a speed bump. It's fine. It's not like people are saying. If you're responsible, I mean, look, people are just chilling out, having a freaking picnic over there.
Yep.
it's not like people are saying. It's not a terrible lockdown, a draconian thing. You know,
No.
It's a beautiful day. People are out having a picnic on the frickin' median for whatever reason.
I was just kind of shocked that China would go to that level to say like, oh, now California.
And the worst thing is that people that you think would know better,
right?
People that are foreigners, you know, Canadians
Sure.
and Americans and other, you know, foreigners. They're buying into it and they're spreading this nonsense around that things are so terrible.
Never mind, they are open. It says outside dining. We are open.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
you can get restaurant. We choose not to.
Yeah, we could go sit down, have a beer, whatever, if we wanted to.
We choose not to. That's our choice, though. Right?
Absolutely.
The freedom to be able to do so. I guess the point is
see families and
the
stuff.
freedom to be able to do what we're doing and just hang out and go wherever we want. You can do it.
Yes.
It's up to your discretion how far you want to take that, and it's not up to a government to tell you whether you can or not.
Yeah.
And I do, as seriously as I take this coronavirus thing, I would not trade my liberties for a government to be able to literally shut down my entire life, right?
Yeah.
To tell me I can't go for a run or a hike. Like, there is a certain threshold of freedoms that you have to hold on to.
Yeah,
right?
agreed.
You should wear a mask.
That's
you should
something
take
I said.
this seriously.
I think people that have grown up in a society like America or a Western society, I know currently in places like the UK and Australia, it's a lot worse at the moment. But people that have grown up in this society would rather have the choice to be dumb.
Right.
Okay, and the choice to go out and get infected if they want to.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Than to be told that you're not allowed to leave your own damn house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I know a lot of people, they'd much rather just take the risk.
Sure.
Whether it's stupid or not,
I
it's
think
up
it's
to them.
immoral, and I think it's stupid, and I think people should take it incredibly seriously for the safety of other people.
Sure.
That being said, it is not the government's job to do that.
So, Sea Milk, for a lockdown, there sure are a lot of tourists here. I mean, there's an Arizona license plate right in front of us.
Bunch of zonies.
Yeah, we got a whole bunch of people.
Yeah,
here.
well, for lockdown, I mean, it's what you make of it, really.
You've got cops here, or you know, traffic guys diverting traffic and telling everyone where to park and stuff. It's not locked down. You know, that's my point.
That's a good point.
I think what we need to do is like take that definition of the word lockdown, and I should say that it's rather just more like caution down, if that makes sense. You know.
Yeah, whether you agree with us or not, and you think the government's role should be stronger or not, that's a different story.
Yeah.
The point is the reality of what we see right now.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not a draconian lockdown.
No,
It's not.
It's got nothing to. It's got nothing to do with what China did. It's completely different to what China did.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's something that I think people need to realize, is that you don't want it to be like what China did, because at the end of the day, what they ended up doing was, and we have a lot of people who went through this, who were still there, is they made sure people could not leave.
Yeah.
Okay? You cannot leave your house.
Right.
You're stuck.
Right.
You have to go through this terrible, terrible situation, and it's still not done.
No.
You know, it's still not as, it's not back to normal, and it won't be.
No.
So, pick your poison.
Pick your poison.
And if you want to be like China and lock down, you can do it yourself.
Just
Just stay in your own place and never leave.
Yeah, you don't need someone to
Lock
tell you
your
to do
doors.
that.
Yeah. Whether you like to lock yourself down, or if you like to be forced to lock down like a little child with your parents who kind of come and smack you on the wrist, no, you can't leave your house. We love you all the same. And until next time, you know the drill, as always. Stay awesome. What do you mean accidents?
Accidents.
Should it be accident question mark, not accident?
Yeah, it's just accidents. Call hashtag hurts.
That guy looks terrible.
How do you call a hashtag?
Don't.